Greetings to everyone out there in the YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. Want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live, morning show edition. And yes, we've got some breaking news that's come out late overnight. Got it into the office or whatever this morning. And here's what I found out. Detroit Lions are trying to make a trade. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail for this video, it's not the trade probably most of us would have anticipated. If you would have asked anybody a week ago, 2 weeks ago, heck, maybe even yesterday, what do the Detroit Lions need? They would have said probably pass rusher, maybe another cornerback. I don't know, beyond that. But it does sound like, and this is coming from multiple people within Detroit media base, Lions, Brad, Holmes, and Mcdc are trying to trade for an offensive lineman. They feel like the situation going on with Taylor Decker, from everything I'm getting from them, is a little bit worse than they anticipated. You guys all get it. He's had a few different surgeries over the past few off seasons. The shoulder injury isn't apparently getting dramatically better as they had hoped. You know, and you can even see if you go back and watch the end of the Tampa Bay game, he is noticeably grimacing and trying to favor that shoulder to the point where you've seen in about the last month, the Detroit Lions manipulate some of their offense from what they were doing the start of the year to what they're doing now, and I think a lot of that is out of necessity. Apparently, it's gotten to the point where the Lions are at least openly throwing some offers out there to teams. I have tried to inquire, who are they trying to acquire to bring in as a potential left tackle replacement for Taylor Decker if this shoulder situation is as advertised? Not very good, and that I haven't got any clear answers on. So if you're going to ask me in the comments section, what teams are they calling? Who are they trying to acquire? I don't have that information as of yet. What I do know is they are trying to make a move for a veteran left tackle. Jamarco Jones, for those who don't know, maybe just joining the show, maybe haven't paid attention to it, he was the ideal backup left tackle for Taylor Decker. You guys probably all know, if you have paid attention, during training camp, he lost out to a major ankle injury. He's on the IR. He's not coming back this year. Giovanni Manu is also on the IR. Dan Skipper, while they like him, doesn't sound like they want him to be a full-time starting left tackle if Decker's shoulder situation continues to deteriorate. I also talked to those reporters and said, so why are they so up in arms about potentially trying to make a trade for another left tackle? And here's what one of them said that they've got from information inside Lions front offices or Lions organization, that the strength in his shoulder is deteriorating. So it's actually going down on a week-to-week basis. They didn't have all the information why that is, but it is an alarming situation for the Detroit Lions. You guys understand. I understand the Lions are in the midst of a very good opportunity to make the playoffs and push for the Super Bowl. You don't have a left tackle or somebody can hold up under pass pressure against legitimate teams. That's going to be a problem. We've seen in the last 3 to 4 weeks a ton more of 12 personnel. Some of that is because Decker's been out, Manu's been in, Skipper's been in, but it's also because the Detroit Lions coaching staff feels like there is a dramatic need to help protect that left side. If you remember against the Cincinnati Bengals, there were about a few plays where, and again, it's Giovanni Manu, where they were trying to allow him to go one-on-one and pass block, to go back to more 3 wide receiver sets. And what happened? Goff took some shots. While he didn't get injured, it did raise an alarming bell, I'm told, with the Lions coaching staff saying, yeah, they can't let Goff take those kind of shots because at some point, you understand, I understand, he's going to get hurt. And if he goes out, you can say goodbye to the season. No disrespect about the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions, but I don't think anybody wants him out there in a full-time basis. I'm going to stay on top of this, and I'm guessing we're all going to have to hear about it until the trade deadline does pass. But let me ask you, Duke Crew, if you had to rate in order, what are the number one priorities for the Detroit Lions? How many would say defensive end, cornerback, some other position? And would you have even considered the offensive line? I hadn't considered it until I got this information this morning. But once I started thinking about it and started reviewing the offensive structure, how it has changed in the last 3 to 4 weeks, it started making a whole lot more sense. Lions, if they can't get a better option at the left tackle spot, what do? Do you move Penei Sewell over there? I guess that could be an option, but now you have a massive hole at the right tackle position. What would be easier for them to acquire? I don't know. We'll have to see what shakes out, but I do think this has become a priority to the team based on all the information I've received in the last couple hours. It does sound like the Lions are actively trying to make a move for a veteran left tackle to potentially fill in for Taylor Decker. And then that starts bringing up the question, is this Decker's final season in Detroit? That I can't answer. We probably won't know into the offseason. But again, it's an alarming situation that appears he's losing strength in that left shoulder. And you know what? I'm not that kind of medical person, so I can't answer what that may be. What that does, just from having coached forever, I'm guessing there's probably some nerve situations going on where he's just not getting the amount of blood flow or just electrical stimulus in that shoulder, and that's why maybe potentially he's losing some strength. This is going to be a fluid situation that's going to affect the Detroit Lions in multiple different facets. Your running game, your passing game, your pass protection, the whole shebang. If Decker goes down, do you feel like Dan Skipper's your guy going forward for the rest of at least this year? Probably would have to be. And if he's going to be that guy, who's going to back him up? Because as we all know, Giovanni Manu isn't coming off that bench anytime soon because he's on the injured reserve. Miles Frazier, who was drafted to be an offensive lineman, did play some tackle, played some guard in college. Could he be the backup? Well, he's not even available yet. He hasn't even done anything in training camp yet because of his injured knee and situation, although there are a lot of reports suggesting he is close to being able to return. But then again, even if he returns, what level of confidence do you have in him? He's still fairly unknown, and until he gets on the field practicing with people, you probably really can't accurately assess his ability level. This is going to be a situation we're all going to want to pay attention to. I understand there's a lot of reports out there. The Detroit Lions are talking to the Miami Dolphins about Phillips. We'll see if that shakes out. But I think if you look at the performance of the Detroit Lions defensive front in recent weeks, and the fact that Lee McNeil's back, and the fact that Med Hassanin's going to be back in a couple weeks, and that Marcus Davenport's going to be back, I'm not sure if that's as big a situation for the Detroit Lions coaching staff and front office as it may be for all of us out here. What were we going to do with the offensive line? I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, that's what I got for that. I wanted to get the main topic of the day out of the way early for anybody just joining us because it is kind of a breaking news video. Probably should have ran the breaking news intro. Apologies for that, but it is early in the morning. Maybe I'm not thinking straight. All right, before we get into the 5 headlines now and revisit the main topic of the day in the Duke Crew comments section, let me get through a couple other things real quick. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 21 subs away from hitting 15,400. If you can assist with that, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you have a half second of time, it's free of charge. Reach on down, hit the thumbs up button, the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more. Thumbs up or likes. Last, but most certainly, never least, if maybe you're looking for something to read with the upcoming holidays, if you could go to Amazon.com or wherever you find great reading literature, order yourself a copy of Kajora Book. It is a historically accurate fictional novel, so the events historically are accurate. The people within the story maybe aren't so much. But go ahead and check it out. You can find it if you enjoy it, if you like stuff to do with history, Native American religion, Asian culture, Japanese culture, specifically ninjas, samurais, all of the shebang and the mythology with both cultures. Check it out. If you like it, leave a kind review. All right, that all done, said, out of the way. Let's get the show rocking, rolling, going, and kicking off with 5 headlines now. Yeah, sometimes I have those speakers up a little high, so sorry about that. You guys didn't hear it, but I sure did. All right, 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions mailbag. Do the Lions plan to part ways with Kirby Joseph before the contract is over? Question mark. A to Z Sports. Mike Payton with this one. Is it possible this could have some sort of level of validity to it? It is, because if you look at the structure of Kirby Joseph's contract, Mike Payton is right. The Lions could move off. The vast majority of Kirby Joseph's contract is consumed into basically a buyout last year on the deal. Could they move on? Sure. Why would they move on? That I don't know. Mike Payton speculates that if they were to move on from Kirby Joseph, it would be to free up money to re-sign some other guys. I'm just not so sure that's going to happen. Kirby Joseph has shown his ability to be a game changer on the defense, really give you a lot of flexibility. Just talking from an X and O standpoint, he's not Deion Sanders. Nobody is other than Deion. He was the greatest defensive back I've ever seen as far as shutting down part of the field. But let's also give Kirby Joseph his flowers. Kirby Joseph gives a lot of flexibility for Kelvin Shepard or Aaron Glenn Pryor to call different schemes, because he can operate and take away, I'd say, about 25 to 35% of the field, which means cornerbacks, linebackers, they can be overly aggressive, shooting on the gaps, out cuts, etc., because they know they got Kirby over the top. In my opinion, he's a game changer and one of the best cornerbacks in the league, especially when giving help coverage to other people, because of what Kirby Joseph can do, and what he can do is change a game in a hurry. There was also some speculation in his article about the Lions potentially trying to reacquire Ife Melifonwu. There are some reports about that. You guys all know the Miami Dolphins are in a fire sale situation. Could they get rid of him? What would you give up to get him? Why, if you're the Detroit Lions, you'd get him? You didn't re-sign him this offseason because he has a massive injury history. You guys know you like to take a lot of pokes at Davenport. Well, Ife Melifonwu ain't much different. I like Ife. I think everybody does, but why would you try to reacquire him, especially with what the secondary just did? And then the last one, in his mailbag that I'll get to, at least there's some other ones if you want to check it out and pull up the story. Where is Jameson Williams? He's out there and he's doing his job, in my opinion. Doesn't have to be your opinion. I get we all want them to throw them the ball a few times. We want Sam Laporta more involved. The problem is the opposing defense might not have that same opinion as you. They are trying to actively take away Jameson Williams. They are trying to take away Sam Laporta. We've talked about it all off season. No defense is going to be able to take away everything from you. They're taking away a few things. If they start overplaying Laporta and say St. Brown, then you know what? Jameson Williams is probably going to get his more and more at some point this season. I think that's going to happen. Just hasn't happened as much as of yet, and I think that's partially by design. Make no mistakes about it also, though. Jameson Williams is having a massive impact on the defense because of his presence out there and what he can bring to the field. I get J-Mo. He wants to be more involved. What athlete wouldn't? But I also get right now, he's doing his job, and he's doing a very good job of it. In my opinion, doesn't have to be your opinion. All right, let's get to the next of the 5 glorious headlines now. NFL is considering adding a rule. NFL is considering to add a rule that's tailor-made for Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell. NFL Wire with this one. If you don't know what this is about, let me bring you up to speed. NFL EVP Troy Vincent said he told owners today that it might be time to revisit the 4th and 15 proposal instead of the onside kicks, since recoveries are happening at a much lower rate than the NFL apparently had hoped for. What does this all mean? Instead of going for an onside kick, you'd face a 4th and 15 situation. If you get out there, you complete it, you get the ball, etc. NFL is looking for some ways to kind of pump up the possibilities of teams who want or need the ball back late in games to be able to get it back. Onside kicks with the new rules, changes of kickoffs, the whole shebang bang. It hasn't gone as anticipated, and they are looking to revise it. Will this happen? I don't know, but I do think it is sure one thing. The NFL is going to add some sort of new layer to the onside kick dilemma that they're facing, and it will probably happen this offseason. It won't happen this season, but we'll want to pay attention to it. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Lions place veteran linebacker on injured reserve. Detroit Lions on SI, story by John Macarone. So Cunningham's been a big win. Zach Cunningham's been a big win for this Detroit Lions organization, but as you guys know, in recent weeks, he pulled his hamstring. Then he went out and played Monday, re-aggravated it. He's going to be out now for, we'll just say, a month, maybe a little bit longer as that hamstring recovers. This also opens up a roster spot amongst others to potentially return after the bye. Brian Branch is going to return, by the way, after the bye week. So Cunningham's going to be out, but also let's not forget Malcolm Rodriguez. You've heard from the Detroit Lions themselves. He's pretty close to return, and he's going to be returning. He's going to more or less take over Cunningham's spot. Zach Cunningham's spot, my anticipation, when that happens. Cunningham, maybe later in the year, once that hamstring's fully right, will come back. Man, oh man, that Lions linebacker core might be the best and deepest in the entire NFL when that goes down. NFL Insider ties the Lions to potential trade deadline target who makes sense. Sideline report, Brad Berryman with this one. You know, again, I know we talk about it every day. The Lions are just going to get named in every kind of trade up there. Whether or not it happens, I don't know. This one, we've talked about it a few times in about the last week, maybe 2 weeks, with the Miami Dolphins. It's Arthur and Key. He keeps hearing that the Lions and 49ers are in the mix for him. I haven't heard anything, and not I think I said Dolphins. Apologies with that. Tennessee Titans, but you guys get it. Key was mentioned to Detroit last year. He's been mentioned again this year. I wouldn't be angry about it. I just think, man, that linebacker room, the defensive end room, the defensive tackle room, it's already pretty crowded. If you're going to give up something to get them, who are you kicking out of here? And I don't have an easy answer to that. Maybe you guys do crew with that, but Key, I think he gives you a certain element. A lot of the current roster does not, with his flexibility, with his just athleticism, his agility, his ability to bend. I won't be upset by any stretch of the imagination. The Lions do go for it. The problem is, who do you boot out of the room if you do acquire him? I will have to defer to your wisdom on that, although Brad Berryman, like many other reporters, are saying this is a potential trade for the Lions. Same with Phillips in Miami. I'm just not so sure Brad Holmes is going to give up much to get either one of them. If that happens, it happens. I think we'll all be happy if it happens. I just want to lose any sleep over it. I do believe, though, to reiterate the main topic of the day that we started the show off, I do think the Lions are being far more aggressive trying to acquire a left tackle. Could it be a right tackle? If they can't get a left tackle, sure. Then you swing Penei Sewell over, although that would take him a little bit of time to adjust. Maybe not the most, but a little bit. Last of the 5 glorious headlines now. Lions quarterback, wide receivers earn low PFF grade in win over Buccaneers. Detroit Lions and SI, story by Christian Boer. Let's go through this. I even got some pop-ups for you guys. Highest PFF graded offensive players. Penei Sewell, not a big surprise there. An elite grade. All he does is play, and he plays well. And he is the generational talent like few other people we've ever seen for the Detroit Lions, or to be fair, even in the NFL. Gibbs, hey, he had himself one heck of a game. I'm surprised his grade wasn't higher. It'd be interesting to sit down with PFF graders and find out why he was an 80. We'll just say 82. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 77.1. Taylor Decker, kind of the guy we're talking about today. Not a bad grade by any stretch of the imagination for an offensive line, especially a left tackle. We'll just say 72. And then take the great Ratledge of 70, more or less. Decker, the big question is going to be that shoulder. If he's really losing power and strength in that shoulder, I understand why the Lions need to try to address the situation before the trade deadline. I'm going to try to stay on this story throughout the week and get back to you guys. All right, let's get to the next pop-up. Lowest graded offensive players. Brock Wright, we'll just say 62. Sam Laporta, not great at all at 50. We'll just say 54. David Montgomery, 50. Jameson Williams, 46.6, and Jared Goff, he did not have a great game according to them. I didn't think it was that bad. The only one I really dinked him on, I guess there were 2 passes, in my opinion. One was the pick right before halftime, and then he did have a kill shot or deep in-route shot, post pattern, however you want to term it, to Jameson Williams. That probably would have been a touchdown if he could have laid it out in front of him. The problem was he was getting pressure up the middle and couldn't step in the throw, couldn't get the legs into it. That's why it was a little short. If he could step up into it, I think he would have had, and I'm going off my memory, so don't hold me to it, about a 63-yard touchdown deep post pattern to Jameson Williams, J. Wow. And that probably would have changed his grades and Jameson Williams just a wee bit. All right, next one here. IS Pro Football Focus graded defensive players. Nick Whiteside, how about that? Kid off the scrap sheet. Man, not even playing on it for anybody. He comes in and puts up one massive performance in the secondary. 83.9, not elite, but not that far off it. And then what do you do with this guy and some of the other guys like Hollett and Mallett and Arthur and all them guys? Some of them aren't going to be able to stay here once you get T.A. back, Brian Branch back. You're going to have to cut some of these guys. And the way they played, can you really cut them? You put them on the practice squad, I got to imagine somebody's trying to steal them. Whiteside, we talked about it during the live cast. He adds an element to this team. you just don't have with his size, because he's 6'1.5". He runs, he flows. Preseason, I know we all talked about it. He finds the ball in the air. That's the one thing I think it's not that you can't teach it as a coach to a defensive back or a linebacker or a defender, locating the ball once in the air. It's just dang hard. It takes a ton of reps. The fact he's got size, wheels, and he does that instinctively, locating the ball in the air. I don't know how you let this guy go. I was shocked when they did let him go and the 53-man cut down, but now, hey, he's got a second opportunity. Jack Campbell, we'll just round down, say an 83. Aiden Hudson, 83. DJ Reader, 81. Lauren Strickland, hey, I don't even remember his name out there that much, but you know what? Good for him. That means nobody was going near him. 78. And then as far as the bottom or lowest Pro Football Focus graded defensive players, this is the problem I have with the grades from these guys. Sometimes I just don't understand what they're watching out there. Lee McNeil, really? We'll just say a 60. I would strongly disagree with that, because I thought he was causing ruckus in there, especially in that first half. And now, maybe, to be fair, maybe they're saying he was that bad in the second half. I guess I would have to rewatch the tape. First half, though, I thought he was a monster out there. He looked like Reggie White. He was just blowing up dudes. You could see how the Bucs had to change their blocking assignments to account for Aleem the Dream McNeil. They started off in the first quarter, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, leaving single block coverage on him, and he was just eviscerating whoever they put in front of him. Real quickly, towards, the halfway point, second half of the first quarter, you can say they started double-teaming him. They were double-teaming and triple-teaming Hutch. That's why he had so many one-on-one situations with everybody else. Again, stuff I don't always agree with. Alaquin Muhammad, we'll just say a 60. Eric Hollett, a 55. Rakia Singh, I'm surprised by this, because I thought he played one whale of a game. And 46, and then Tyler Lacey, I thought he had a game too, but what do I know? 41.7. So there you go for your Pro Football Focus grades. Again, take them with a grain of salt. I often do. I don't mind referencing them. Doesn't mean I always agree with them. All right, we're going to go to the main topic of the day. For those who didn't chime in at the start of the show, we'll revisit it, talk to the Duke crew about it, but I do think there's a whole lot of legitimacy to this, and it makes a lot of sense to me. So without further ado, 1, 2, 3, main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. It does sound like the Lions are actively, and perhaps one of the better situations Brad Holmes has faced as far as being aggressive, trying to make a trade. It is apparently happening before our eyes. Brad Holmes, MCDC are actively trying to acquire a left tackle for the Detroit Lions. Could it be a right tackle? Sure, so they could swing Panay over. That I have not heard, though. I have heard specifically they're looking for offensive linemen, specifically a left tackle. The situation, if you're just joining, it sounds like there is a growing concern with Taylor Decker's shoulder. You guys understand he's had some shoulder surgery. He's, just hasn't really been able to practice all season. He did a little bit in the preseason, but not once the regular season hit. And there are multiple reports coming out now from Detroit insiders in the media saying the Lions are worried that he's losing power, strength, however you want to term it, in that shoulder. Why that is, I have not been able to find out. Nobody's been able to tell me. I'll keep on this, until we get some more resolution. But we probably all understand the Lions in the last 2 to 3 to 4 weeks have had to change their base offensive structure to more 12 personnel out there. Start of the year, we did a lot more 3 receiver sets, etc. Maybe some 3 receiver sets, so whatever you want to call it, pro split sets. But with that being said, you've seen a change to more 2 tight end offenses out there, and the reason does appear to be the Lions coaching staff was real worried about the left tackle position. When Giovanni Manu was out there against the Cincinnati Bengals, you guys get it, he did not play great. I didn't think he was terrible, but he did allow several big hits on Jared Goff. You lose Goff, you lose your season. There's just no way around it. Nothing against Allen as the backup quarterback. I just don't think anybody wants to see an offense out there without Jared Goff starting. Some of you may, though, but I think the majority doesn't. You've also seen since that game, though, because it's either been Dan Skipper, Manu, or a lesser available or performing Taylor Decker, Lions are trying to protect that left tackle spot, and I think they're starting to get worried that if they don't open up the offense a little bit more, what are you seeing every team do to us? They are putting 8 guys in the box, trying to shut down the run. They're not always shutting down the run, but it has changed the Lions' offense. And going forward against some teams and into the playoffs, I think the Lions coaching staff just doesn't want to be that one-dimensional offensively. They want to play their strengths. If you watch the live cast when we did against the Kansas City Chiefs, leading into that, I think most of us have said, hey, the Chiefs secondary is low suspect, same with their linebacking core. But if you can't exploit it from a schematic standpoint because you can't put that left tackle on an island, that's a problem. Who can you get to come on in, and what are you willing to pay? I don't think there's a situation on planet Earth where Brad Holmes is giving up a first or second round pick. But let me ask you guys, get your opinions. Outside a quarterback, in your opinion, is left tackle the most valuable position in the NFL? Maybe you could say defensive end, a high functioning defensive end who can shut down the run and get to the quarterback. Maybe you can have an argument there. If you don't have a left tackle, it is dang difficult. Look at the Texans, C.J. Stroud. We all get it. His rookie year, he looked pretty good. What has happened since his rookie year? He hasn't looked very good. Why is that? He doesn't have anybody blocking for him. And if you can't get some blocking for a quarterback, it doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady, Warren Moon, or somebody else. If you don't have people to block, you will not be an effective quarterback. People often say, pressure Goff, you'll get Goff to fold. In my opinion, doesn't have to be your opinion, that's every quarterback. If you allow pressure from the weak side, the strong side, or up the middle, no quarterback is going to be successful, at least not for very long. You are going to get them killed. Lions appear to feel this is a need and a priority. Giovanni Manu, as you guys know, is on the IR, not coming back anytime soon. Dan Skipper is here. Do you have that level of confidence in him? I do think the Lions coaching staff had a lot of confidence in Jamarco Jones. Only problem is he's donezo for the year. Taylor Decker, if he's really losing power in that shoulder and strength, that's not going to get better. It's going to get worse over the time, and that could be why this is becoming such a topic for him. And again, I do want to say that without knowing the full circumstances with that shoulder, I'm under the mindset it's not going to get better. It's going to deteriorate, which then brings up the question, is this Taylor Decker's final season in Detroit? I think there's some growing evidence for it. I hope I'm wrong with all this. I hope they can, re-strengthen the shoulder, re-strengthen the arm, get him back to good. They do have a couple weeks, obviously, with the bye to try to work on it. But it is, from everybody I've talked to late last night or early this morning, sounds like it is priority number one for the Detroit Lions to try to acquire another left tackle. All right, Duke Crew, you've heard me ramble on probably for too long, but let's get over to you guys, see what you guys have to say about all this, and maybe just a little bit more. If you have any thoughts, throw them out there. I'm scrolling to the top of the screen, still scrolling. Apparently, we have a couple comments this morning. All right, Johnny L., good morning, folks. Back at you. Johnny, so what was the trade? No trade. They're trying to make a move. Detroit Matt, good morning. Duke Rodrigo practices next week. Can't wait till he's back. Our defense just got scared. This bye really came at the right time. Woo! Exclamation point. I'm down with that. He is going to add a lot of abilities to that linebacker core. And it's just, he has certain strengths, and his strengths are dang good. He would start, I think, on a lot of NFL teams. Until then, hopefully this is a real story and not one of those trade deadline speculation stories. Take with it as you want, my friend. Bo, good morning, Dooku. A villain strike! Exclamation point. Woo! I'll take that. Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan, and the ever-loving Dooku. I sure hope they are getting offensive line help at the trade deadline, not trading Decker. Oh, yeah. I'll go with that. Yeah, it doesn't sound like they're trying to trade Decker. It sounds like they're trying to help him out by getting another left tackle. Big Daz, yeah, I knew we were going with that. Johnny L, I can't see TD getting traded. Me either, man. I think he would retire before that happens. Been wrong before. Trey, what's good already? Question mark. Maybe they are looking for another left tackle and not getting rid of Decker. Big Daz. That is it. Yes, I don't know. Correct. Gary, good morning, everyone. Same to you. Attila, the biggest need is offensive line for Detroit by far. Not trading Decker. He is injured. No one is giving any value for him, but someone to fill in or rest him. Correct with that. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Excellent choice. Sorry to hear Cunningham is going to the IR. I like him. That hamstring must be really bad. I know we were talking about it during the Bucks live cast. Hamstrings are a difficult situation for any athlete. And I get why the Bucks rushed kind of their two wide receivers back. But what do you see as a result of it? Neither one of them was very effective. One of them ended up getting hurt, maybe for the year. Maybe he comes back, Mike Evans, later in the year. I think with the Lions, they gave Cunningham a couple weeks to let it heal. He felt good enough. They put him back in the field. What's he do? He pops his hamstring. Let's see. Xavier, good morning. Coach Dan and Dooku. Hope you have a blessed day. Exclamation. Hopefully Lions get someone good in trade deadline. We'll find out. Until then, Decker in the thumbnail is just the clickbait part. It's not clickbait, man. You're talking about trading to try to get somebody to back him up. Pretty sure he has to do with the O-line depth. Correct with that. Man, I mean, I guess I don't know when you guys say clickbait. What do you want me to do? Just put a thumbnail up there that says, hey, we got happy or sad news for Detroit today. No offense. I just hate the word clickbait because I'm trying to tell you a story. Now, does that story compel you to watch the video? I don't know. Everybody can run their own channel, I guess. Johnny L, yeah, but who or what are we giving up? I'm guessing draft picks. That's my guess, Johnny L. Jess, I agree. Attila, adding more O-line would be ideal. They have been okay this season, but not like the year before. Yeah, I would say that's fair. Attila, someone has to go once Malcolm Rodriguez comes back. That would be accurate. Yeah, 100% there. All right, did anyone see the video of Hassanin bench pressing? Hope he is back for the Packers game. So they could resign him week 9, and then, obviously probably need a week or so to get him up to speed. We'll have to wait and see when he's actually back on the team. Xavier, the Lions are underrated and should be on top. I like the way you're thinking. Big Eddie, not shocked. We are looking to gain offensive line help. If we don't do it now, I think we have to do it next spring. I do think just because of Decker's situation, and I think you're spot on with that, Eddie, plus the center situation, Glasgow is getting up there in age. You probably are looking at the Lions making some moves, one way or the other, free agency or the draft, to strengthen the offensive line. Jenny L, I didn't see that. Art, James, good morning, everyone. Same to you. Attila Hun, you lost Frank Ragnow and Kevin Zeitler, and Decker had shoulder surgery. Love CM and Ratledge, but they need more depth. Yeah, they do. They do indeed. I think you're spot on with that, my friend. Just greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Coach, you should do a rooting against live cast Sunday. I ain't got nothing else to watch. We'll see about that, man. We'll see. I know I've got a few things going on Sunday. I want to say one of the cousins has a birthday party, something like that. Anyways, Gary, hit the like button. Back at you. Yes, hit all the buttons if you would, please. Trey, I think you are right about that, Attila. Not sure I'm sold on the backups. Yeah, I could see them wanting to add more depth for sure. Trim Reaper, good morning, Coach Dan and the world-renowned Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Woo! I'll take that. James, Attila the Hunt, you're right about that. Hopefully the Lions address the issue in the draft next year. I think they probably have to. Moonscar Blade, good morning, Duke Crew, signing up. Exclamation point. What's happening? Not too much. Just talking a little bit about the Lions. How about you, man? How'd you bowl last night? James, I forgot to hit the like button. I forgot about that. It happens, man. Never forget, says Johnny L. Drake, so who do we get and what does it cost? That's $1 million question, ain't it? I would think outside of quarterback or top defensive end, offensive line isn't cheap. No, not at all. If you want somebody of known value and ability, yeah, it's not going to be cheap. Jason, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. It's a great day to be a Lions fan. Exclamation point. I'm down with that. And good to see you, my friend. Once you are the shame, James, the shame. Exclamation point. I'll take that. The Trim Reaper. We have 2 moons now. Maybe we do. Amy Spray, good morning to the ultra fabulous Duke Crew and our fact-finding fearless leader, Dan. Exclamation point. We will see Dan O'Damas tomorrow. Maybe. I have a great day all long. Wait until the next game for sure. 100%. Yeah, we got almost 2 weeks. France, Jesslyn, laughing out loud. That's not a bad idea. Coach should do a Duke Crew NFL Red Zone show. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be possible this weekend. We'll see. Leonard, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Have a great day. Back at you, my friend. Hopefully it is a phenomenal one. James, I was looking at the whole Detroit Lions roster just now and didn't see Ahmed Hassanin's name. Wonder why that is. Yeah, he's not with the team. They gave him an injury settlement, let him go as a free agent, basically. But they also knew he's injured. Nobody else is signing him right now. My anticipation is, James, they had an agreement, and it kind of sounds like his dad, when he's on the show, has mentioned it a few times. He's going to return to the Detroit Lions once he's healthy. But this way, they didn't have to use one of their limited IR designation returns on him. Jordan Reaver, the Egyptian magician has a handshake deal. There you go. Attila the Hun, Jamarco Jones and Miles Frazier were supposed to help along with Manu is on the IR. The offensive line is the biggest weakness, yet people still say edge. No, I think you're spot on with that. I think you're spot on with that, Attila, 100%. Susan, Trim, when does Haas return to the team? I want to say week 9 is when he can, but whether or not you've seen him actually doing anything to like week 10 or 11, that'd be my guess a little bit later. James, hopefully Malcolm Rodriguez comes back from injury soon. It is probably going to be soon. Johnny L, I believe that he's still in the IR, James. All right, Attila, James Allen, Ahmed Hassanin is currently a free agent. 5 pairs right. I think that you are correct, Attila. Need more of an offensive line. Moonscar Blade, Hassanin was cut with an injury designation. He is a free agent. Correct that. Leonard, if the trade is for some offensive line help, it's a very smart move. I'd like it a lot. I think a lot of us would. Trent Reaper, shortly after the bye, I believe we get to see the debut of the Egyptian magician. So small, he is a free agent, but it appears that's a wink, wink free agent. Correct with that. Big Daz, guys are talking about how Amik should be playing instead of TA even when he comes back. Yeah, could be. Both of them are pretty dang good, I think. Let's see, James Allen, Tilla the Hun, and nobody picked him up yet. What's the backstory behind that? Yeah, I just think it's because he's injured and because he has an agreement with the Lions. Great ingredients, sanitation, Duke Crew. We need this week away. Yeah, good time from the rest on up, right? Johnny O, when our guys get back, we're going to be sick. I concur. Big D, Amik should be our nickel, and Reed and Terrian outside corners. Maybe that is what they'll do. Moon Scarblade, the Trim Reaper, 2 moons, question mark. That's no moon. That's a space station. Turn back, exclamation point. I know the Star Wars reference. Trim Reaper, the Egyptian magician is a handshake deal with the Lions. They will likely designate somebody injured they want to rest, maybe. Yeah, no, there you go. Big D, morning crew, back at you. Tori Apple, Duke Crew, I'm worried Timmy ran away and won't come back to play. Then again, where's Broski? Both have been silent. Trim Reaper, Moonscar, I do not trust NASA. I'll just say that. Fair enough. Big Daz, I hope they are looking for more left tackle help. Trey, I think they are from what it sounds like. Steve Rogers, who are we trying to get? That I do not know. I don't have information on that. Silver, good morning, coach and everyone. Back at you. Brent, Ahmed will sign with the Lions when he's healthy. Yeah, probably accurate. James, the Lions immediately needs for next year draft the replacement of Frank Ragnow and Taylor Decker. I think you're spot on with that. Big D, the Lions and Hassanin had a handshake agreement for him to return to us. They did it that way, so they did not, so that he could choose where he wanted to go. Hence, him coming back to us when healthy. There you go. Trim Reaper, I am an amateur astronomer. I have looked through some nice telescopes, and things are not as they portray them. All right, fair enough. Hookadoo, Susan Scott, Ahmed returns week 9. That might be accurate. Mary Smith, good morning, Duker. Happy Thursday. All is well with everybody. Hopefully it's well with you, Queen Mary. Johnny L. Yo, Trim Reaper, and you shouldn't. Dennis, good morning, Dan and Duke Group. Back at you, Big D Money. Moonscar, absolute James. Ragnow has mentioned coming back to help for a playoff push if there is a need. Has he done that? I guess I didn't see that. That would be pretty awesome. Jennifer, good morning, all. Exclamation point. Time to get to work, Brad. Let's see what he does at work. Hookadoo, good morning to my brother and sisters in the Gritty Duke crew. And back at you, Hooks. Dennis, thank you, Dan, for all that you do. Hey, I enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Trim Raper, good morning, Johnny. Moonscar Blade, interesting Trim. I thought it had, let's see, I might have to do some research. Yeah, do some research indeed. Johnny L, good morning to you too, Trim. Silver, Troy Apple, there is many more, 2 at least, who keep coming regularly. He knows how to work around, and he's like the challenge. Slowly sneaking back in with what the lots of viewers and don't know him is. All right? Pat Rock, right now coming back. We'll find out. Final countdown. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Back at you. Ziggy and friends, good morning, Captain Dan and the Duke Crew All-Stars. How about that? And good morning to you. Trim Reaper, Timmy, with some exclamation points. Robert, woo, who doesn't like to woo in the morning? Big D, great morning, Duke Crew, and with some exclamation points. Mr. Detroit City, let's go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. The program 11, go Lions. Hookadoo, Johnny L, you are having a grit-filled day. Yes, we are. The Mr. Detroit City, Campbell Thornton, 2028. I stay away from politics, man. Ain't no way I'm ever doing that. I once did what do you call it? Zoning committee thing for one local municipality. I made it about 3 weeks, and I said, yeah, I can't do this, man. I don't. I'm not even getting into that. Bill, it's time to rest and get healthy. Go Lions. I like it, like indeed. Charles, morning, y'all. I bet we don't lose this week. Yes, I'd say that's a good bet. JC, Greetings Sanitation's coaching crew, exclamation point. Carrie, Moonscar Blade, if so, then he'll be back. Big D, he reactivated it in the game in third quarter. All right, he reactivated it. Man, I misspoke there. Good morning, Queen Mary, mother of grit. Motown Mitch put Skip in. He has outplayed him these last 2 years anyways. Fair enough. Big D, Via got him on a stunt they did. Silver, there is a red heart that appears at the bottom right of those phone screens. Does anybody know what it is? I do not. Johnny L, oh yeah, Hookadoo. Oh yeah, how about that? The same old soup, just for you. A bit tardy but present. Hey, good to have you on the show. Mary Smith, good morning, Hookadoo. Johnny L, how are the Gritty Brothers doing this morning? We'll find out. Michigan Sports Huddle, good morning, all. Back at you. Decker's last season, I think it's leaning that way unless they can clean up whatever's going on with the shoulder, and I don't know what is going on with the shoulder. Johnny L, my Queen Mary, it's always great to see you, 100%. Michael, 2 weeks is a long time to wait for the next game. Right. All right. Hookadoo. Silver, I've had that here, had that there since I got the phone. I can't get rid of it. Yeah, I don't know what it is, my friend. Mary Smith, Johnny L, that's a quick emoji hit button. There you go. Lauren, had to switch counts. How is everyone this morning? Pretty good. How about you, Lauren? Steve, what do you got? It's a great day to beef up our offensive line and protect our quarterback. We can free up J-Mo to score on long routes. Yeah, part of what I was mentioning is you've changed the offensive structure because you can't give a bunch of time. You just don't have the left tackle who can go one-on-one for 2-3 seconds, which does kill some of your deep shot potential to Jamison Williams. Big D, next draft will be trench heavy center, left guard, pass rusher, etc. Laughing out. Let's see, Mary Smith, that's to Silver, and good morning. Trim Reaper, Moonscar, stay in chat for a minute after show if I could offer you something interesting to research. Bill, left tackle, Xavier, offensive line, Cameron, smart move. I think so too. Ziggy and Friends offensive line is very important this year. I would agree. Earl, hey man, talking about somebody I haven't seen in a hot second. Good morning, Dan and Dooku. That Lions back is awesome. Yes, he is. Bus driver Matt, another person we haven't seen in a hot second. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Hit that thumbs up button. Woo! And thank you for that. Silver, Coach. I think Lions are set at edge with Hassan, Lacey, Wheat, and Ahmed Hassan coming back, hopefully in good shape, and Wingo trying to get back better. Yeah, man, I forgot about Wingo. And you throw him in there with Davenport, too. And don't forget, they've been playing Barnes as a pass rushing end on appropriate downs. Tell it, Coach, I have been saying O-line for weeks. Yes, you have, man. You've been on this exponentially. Good job for you, man. You've got great eyes, maybe even 2 great eyes. Bo, left tackle, back up tackle has been a concern of mine and others for a while. You're probably accurate. Johnny L, I love the smell of gasoline. Good to know, my friend. Hookadoo, I have noticed Decker rubbing his shoulder in pain. Thought he needed to retire. He's done Detroit proud for years now. Exclamation point. Yeah, we'll see if he guts it out this year, but I do think you're probably looking at his time in Detroit is diminishing. Silver, Mary Hookadoo, thank you much. Yet another gimmick. All right. Daniel in the morning, laughing out loud. Kim, even though the Lions have been scoring, the O has been seemed to be off quite a few games this year. The O-line needs to be able to protect Goff and keep the run game going. You're correct with that. And you can see they're having to go with quicker 3-step drops to get rid of the ball because the offensive line is not what it was last year. Leonard, Coach, your friend from across the pond was correct. He mentioned it a couple of times that it was needed when you had him on the show. Yeah, Ant-Man's got a pretty good eye for things too. Trim Reaper, let's grab Cam Robinson before the deadline. We'll see if they can do that. Silver, Manu not lucky and not ready. I had high hopes, but I fear he's better than Broderick Martin. Let's hope he does pan out. Marcus, nice backdrop, Coach Dan. Yeah, I added this, I don't know, a couple shows ago. I like the other one, the electric one. I just figured I'd change it up a little bit, but there's good eyes on that, Marcus. Dave, offensive tackle is definitely their biggest need right now. It's been obvious for a few weeks now. I agree with you there, Dave. James, that's true. Hookadoo, Taylor Decker needs to retire. Probably will after the season. Gary, Coach, do you think the trade could get big enough that the player or players could be involved instead of just draft picks? It's possible. I just don't think so, man. We'll see. Johnny L, I believe that he will retire. Yeah, probably after the year. D Trace, what I want an offensive lineman took in the first round. It didn't happen though. I get it though. I get what your logic on that though, D. Lionel, good morning, Coach, and Duke Crew Worldwide. Exclamation point. Getting another offensive tackle would be a good move, in my opinion. Better to have and not need than need and not have. I like the way you're thinking. Lightning a ton of cats. Ho! Exclamation point. Ziggy and friends. I know that we have to manage this situation very carefully. I would concur. Jason, new subscriber, greetings, Sanitation 7, go Lions, exclamation point. Thank you for subscribing, my friend. And just for you, let's give you a subscriber, 1, 2, 3. Plus, I get to rest my voice for 2 seconds. 89, Dr. Funk. During the game, Decker was noticeably in pain. He was, man. Him and Big Frank going to be finishing real soon. Decker gave it his all. Man, not mad, but it needs to return to preserve his body. Correct with that. He's got life beyond football, to your point. Johnny O, maybe during the season. All right. James, Kirby Joseph isn't going anywhere. Me either, man. I get the question, but I don't see him going anywhere. Silver, I hit the heart, and a little heart flew by the coach's head. Boy, they're trying anything. Do you get caught up and part of something? Going to be another addiction, a little red heart flying. Hey, we'll enjoy the hearts, my friend. See you, friends. Better than Ragnar's situation that came up. What up, Jason says Trim. Lauren, welcome to the Duke Crew. Jason, JK, no to iffy. Yeah, me too, man. Jason, welcome to the good morning. Trim Raber, DDI. JK, defensive end position isn't in need. Probably not. I would think you're right on that. James Joseph Branch will be here for the long haul. I concur. Benjamin Holmes puts up too much faith in his surprise picks, Manu, Vaki, and a few others, but they have disappeared greatly. They have indeed. Hoogadoo, morning, James Allen. It's just in his grit to keep playing, but he's tearing up his shoulder. He's done the Honolulu Blue proud. He has, man. He's had a great career for the Lions. Dolo, defensive end position is the name. What the heck are you smoking? We'll go with that. Jason, thank you, Queen Mary. Michael, we will need to rock you. 15-2 still on the menu. Exclamation point. We will rock them. How about that? Silver Server. They hope Decker would be all right, that Jones would be ready just in case. That man who might be able to step up needed, hoping he wouldn't be needed. And then you had Skipper as the last safety knob. Well, didn't go well. So far, it hasn't, man. Lauren gifted 5 Lions Talk Live memberships. All right, thank you for that. And just for that, let's give you a 1, 2 in the ring. Thank you very much. Johnny L. Jay Stewart, welcome to the crew. I concur. TaylorMade rules are going to be what now? That's a good question right there. Lauren, it's me, Keitho. Lauren is the GOAT. Silver Server, I forgot also Lions got Davenport at right edge. I am beginning to forget about him. He'll be back, I think, right after the bye. Jason, thank you. Johnny L. Lauren, 4th and 12 works good for the UFL. Only can do it in the 4th if trailing. Yeah, maybe that's what they'll go with. Let's see, Phil, good morning, crew. Back at you. Hopefully the fishing's going well. Xavier, J-Mo will get his due because he's a great receiver. He is, man. But why can't he get more deep shots? Well, if your left tackle can't block more than a second half, it kind of removes a lot of those deep shots or that portion of the offense to him, Tesla, or some others. The Trim Reaper, thank you kindly, Lauren. I concur. Lauren, showing some support for the Duke Crew. First month is on me for a few of you. After that, it's on you. I concur. Trim Reaper, good morning. Phil, Hoogadoo. I tried again, Lauren, laughing out loud. Lauren, it just chooses at random. Hey, I didn't know how that worked. Lauren, during Boss Up Ball, I thought it was different because Kurt got it and then regifted it. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I'd have to look into it. But thank you, Lauren, from the bottom of my heart. James, I'm not sold. I'm bringing back iffy. Me neither, man. Hoogadoo, I tried at Boss Up Ball Out also. Trina and Christina Conway, good morning to everyone from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Great place to be, right? Thank you for the update. Everyone have a safe and blessed day. Go Lions. Woo! I'll take that. Lauren, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Woo! And back at you. Silver Server. I got one thing to say to JMO and yes, even to Tesla. Get involved. Just got a James Brown flashback. It happens, man. Who didn't like James Brown? The Trim River. I've barely been impressed with that rat. All right. Let's see. Lauren Van Esch. Trim, he's a rookie and out there doing a dang good job, in your opinion. I concur. Johnny L. Something is off with your feed this morning. I'll try to refeed it. Keitho, Decker got 2 more years on his contract. He's losing shoulder strength. Hopefully he retires or restructures his contract. We'll see what they do. Lauren, remember Whiteside was getting live reps as late as June? Yes, he was. Let's see, Silver Server, James Allen. Lions are set at safety with Harper and the fellows. After that Tampa Bay game, you can count on that. Plus, they want to get younger players to stick around and grow. Correct with that. You want to get a little bit younger if you can. All right, Gary, explain to me why, if you're looking for a player to take Decker's place, why you wouldn't look at Michigan. You probably would, but you can't grab anybody from the University of Michigan until they go through the draft. All right, Dre Day, J-Mo is playing with the sidekick role perfectly. The targets won't come because of the hype he earned last season, and that's fine. Opens up others to make plays. Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. One, you watch the schematics of the other defense. They're putting 2 people on Jameson Williams. The other part is it's hard to give long shots to him because the offensive line isn't giving Goff that kind of time. See again, friends, Brock had a great game on Monday Night Football. I thought so, too. The Trim Reaper, I love these replacement Whiteside, Strickland, Harper, Mallet. Yeah, they've all played well, haven't they? Lauren, Whiteside also played at, GVSU. Yes, he did. Attila Hun, thought I was crazy being one of those only people that saying left tackle was the biggest. No, you were spot on with it, Attila. Spot on. But I was correct in identifying it. Reason why JMO and Montgomery aren't as effective this season. Yeah, could be spot on. Great, good calls. Keith, though, yeah, I didn't like PFF. Yeah, I take it with a grain of salt. Ziggy and friends, I agree with you. Trim Reaper. Rocky Singh was incredible too. I thought so. Kerry, Panthers tackle. There is 6'6" and 300 pounds. We'll see about him. JK, PFF is a blindfold. You might be wearing two of them. Tilla, thank you for the membership. Lauren, hey, yeah, go ahead and give him a shout out there. Bo, Attila, David T. Pike said 2 years ago. Okay, Coach 9K. Hey, Coach and Duke Crew, back at you, Coach. Remember, don't like PFF for the record. Good to know. PFF is trash, says Marcus. Silent service. Off is trash. All right. Remember, dumpster fire, PFF. I figured that's where you're going, but I wasn't 100% sure, man. Look at it, PFF. Nope, don't like it. Exclamation point. Susie Paz went, Decker didn't play well. I'm not surprised. Silver Server, Coach David Phipp, defense special teams coordinator, explained us in detail that PFF don't mean jack most of the time. I agree with that. You take them for what you want out of them. Take them with a grain of salt. Cynthia, good morning. Back at you. Trim Reaper. Good morning, Cynthia. Jess, love Branch as much as the next guy, but Kirby is the man back there. Yeah, he is incredible, isn't he? Look at it. Good morning, sleepyhead, Cynthia. Time to roar. I like the way you're thinking. Attila. Well, I have seen and heard everybody is mostly edge, and more edge lines built through the trenches. Offensive line isn't as glamorous. I am glad others have realized it as well. Correct with that. You've been spot on with that. Dre Day. On the offensive left tackle in the second most important position, I would concur. See, Silver Server Decker won't be able to hold Parsons with that shoulder problem is real. I thought it would have been addressed last season in the draft instead of trading up for Vaki. Bless him. Yeah, Vaki was 2 drafts ago, but I get what you're saying. Trem Raver, Stephanie nearing a fight, right? That I don't know. Brian, good morning, everyone. We are the best team, and we are winning the Super Bowl. I take everything back I said about Brad. All right, we'll take it all back. JD, excuse me, protect Jared Goff, exclamation point. If you lose him, you can kiss any chance Super Bowl goodbye. I would agree with that. Just what do you got? J-Mo put up 1,000 yards, 50 catches. He'll be fine. All right, Eddie's Fish. Hey, Lions fans. We all need to pray for offensive lineman Terrell Decker. He is a great human being and a great player. I'm hoping whatever's going on with his shoulder, they can do something to Scooby-Doo it this week, maybe early into next week, but I do believe from basically all the reporters I talked to that the Lions have identified this as a need. You know, it's no disrespect to Dan Skipper or to Taylor Decker or Giovanni Manu, but they think they need to potentially at least kick the tires on bringing in somebody to help assist the situation. Brian, best show in the universe. Thank you very much for that. Till then, yes, Vaki over the left tackle center is now looking like a bad choice. I concur. Decker is done, says Trim. Lauren, I agree. Trim, this is his last season. It could be, man, unfortunately. But, I mean, he's done a great job during his career. Brian, Attila, I like Vaki too, but I think you're right. Yeah, he's always injured. Eddie's, we need to go after another left tackle. Dan Skipper will be just fine. Fair enough. Silver, the last thing they should do, as far as I am concerned, is trying hard to get the ball to J-Mo. I believe it would happen naturally, no rush, and get involved. 100%. Trim Reaper. Props to Coach Dan for giving me something to talk about 7 days a week. I do what I can, man. That's all I can do. One thing I'll say is, might not always be the best reporter. I definitely can't spell worth a dang. Sometimes I can't even pronounce things right, but I do try hard. Keith, though, Decker will retire a line. I think you are correct. Mary Smith, what do you got? Eddie, prayers are in order. Hookadoo, I agree, Keith, though. JK, Decker will retire like Ragnow next offseason. Lauren, got to have a decent headline and thumbnail to go to attention here on YouTube. You're fine, Coach. Hey, I do what I can, man. It doesn't work for everybody, but I do what I can. If anyone got the rumor in Tennessee and Miami, both are fire sales, so look for their left tackles. Yeah, and I don't know enough about either of their left tackles to know they'd be worthwhile, but you're probably right with that, Vinny. David, what do you got? Poor play at left tackle is a big part of the reason they can't take shots downfield to J-Mo. No time. Yes, I agree with that fully. Justin, we'll be getting multiple starters back after the bye, right at the perfect time to make a push for the Super Bowl. Let's go, one pride. I like the way you're thinking. Trim River, losing 3 Pro Bowl caliber offense linemen so quickly hurts. Yes, it does. William, I think Decker will retire at the end of the year. You might be right. Dola Dynamite. Lions should grab Powers Johnson from Raiders. Let's see if they do. Lionel, I've never really seen any intentional clickbait on your podcast. Thanks for that, man. I do what I can. It doesn't work for everybody, man. And sometimes I overreact. Let's be honest, too. Silent service left tackles are premium position. There are no tradable left tackles out there. Yeah, we'll have to see what they do out there. But sorry, Brent, there's no one draft after Vaki worth picking. It's not like he was a second-round pick. It was the end of the fourth. Correct that. Justin, you will not see any Hassanin play any kind of major role this season. Yeah, not unless he supersedes expectations. I think we all agree with that. Multi Mitch, Graham Glasgow, most hated guy since Dominic Crowell. Might be true. If any right Raiders too, there are a bunch of teams at the bottom, so look there. Courtney, offensive line help, please. Exclamation point. Iceman, can Frazier play some left tackle? He can. Now, how good is he going to be? That I don't know. JC, what's going on with Miles Frazier? Still recovering from that knee. JK, Skip is part-time home runs insurance. We need that full-time offensive line fill. We'll see what we can do. Ziggy and friends, good luck, Stephanie. Trim Reaper, my wish list is still Cam Jordan and Robinson. We'll go with that, and you're praying for it. Keitho, it's going to be a good end of the week. Vikings, Bears, and Green Bay lose. Let's do that. Miles, let's see. Bus driver Brett Miles still on IR. He is from Dre Day. Frazier is still injured. Correct. Jess, Slim regularly puts dudes in skates. All right. Lionel, a man has a gentleman's agreement. Correct with that. JK, with lean back, we are good at D-line push and pass rusher. Michael, putting bodies in place is first thing, but knowing and playing plays playbook is the real task for the team, beneficial for any team. Correct with that. Trum Raver, stick with the hollow blue flu. Silver. Who are these sources? Random dudes on the internet? No, people I've talked to and gotten to know over the decades in Detroit media. Brandon, you think that you are trying to get Jones from the Bears? I don't think we're trying to get anybody from the Bears, but I've been wrong before. James, famous RW, great salutations, coach and crew. Exclamation! Great week is a great week is the best week. Team will come back ready and continue the hunt. Exclamation points! Woo! I'll go with that. Silent server, breast iron Brett, silent service. He had a video on his Instagram with something talking about the move. Could be Finney. Greetings, salutations. Amara even mentioned on a podcast the offensive line has to improve. He wasn't happy with their play. Good to know. Ed Frank Montgomery was better running behind Ragnow. This is probably accurate. The Train River is laughing. Big Daz, I like the idea of getting a new right tackle and moving Sewell to left tackle to protect Goff's blind side. We'll see if that's what they do. Okay, though. Where the info on Ragnow possibly returning for the playoffs push would need him. I haven't heard anything. Yeah, if he's coming back, I haven't seen it, but maybe it is out there. I could see him being interested. Do you remember the heck with politics? Yeah, I just don't understand him. Hookadoo, dang, this weekend is going to feel so empty without the Lions not playing, but we needed this bad. I think you're right. Coach Tony K, the heart is one of the emojis options. Click it and you will see other emojis. Okay, didn't know that. Trim Reaper, hail to the Queen. John, morning. Back at you, John. Trim Reaper, what up, though, John? Hookadoo. Coach Tony K, is there a way to get rid of it? That I don't know. We'll see what she says. Johnny Gas Sports, good morning. Dan and Dew Crew, exclamation point. John, loving my Lions and Dew. You got to love them both, right? Trim Reaper, good morning, Johnny Gas. Earl Minion, man, talking about somebody we haven't seen in a hot second. Good morning, Dan and Dew Crew. And as always to you, my friend. JK, speaking of diabolical rips food stamps, okay. Remember, Moonscar Blade says, I'll stick around. You should post on your channel. Dolo Dynamite, Lions should grab center Austin Powers Johnson. We'll see if they do. I remember him in the draft. I liked him. Mary, boy, Lions Talk Live. We need therapy when we don't have the Lions playing. We're pitiful, but in a good way. I'll go with that. John, been watching the show for a bit. I don't know how it took me so long to find the show. Wish I'd found him earlier. Hey, well, just thanks to you for being a part of it, John, and being part of the Duke Crew. Trim Reaper, I'll be there. Moonscar, Silent Service. Muhammad is proving to be that player. He's among the top 20 highest graded edge rushers in the league. He's produced 5 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and 4 tackles for losses. He's having a pretty good season, isn't he? Version of the mean, Thursday night football. Woo! Let's go Chargers, 100%. Side service, I copied that from the Lions site. Okay. John, woo! Hey, who doesn't like the woo? Okay, Trim, you have a show now? Question mark. We'll find out. Dolo Dynamite, Jackson Powers Johnson, only 22. He's young. And he also played with Panay. How about that? Trim Reaper, I have not shared much or made any videos in a long time. It happens, man. Lauren, what do y'all think about First and Jeesh? Laughing all out. We'll find out. Stephen, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew, exclamation point. Who's available and on an expiring contract at left tackle? That I don't know, man. I have no ideas on that currently. Flathead, you can make custom members only emojis. Okay. JK, who's played with his penne? Trim Reaver, that was supposed to say, I've been really impressed with that rat. Okay. Paperback fan, greatest sanitation to do crew. Anyone have a great day? No football on Sunday is going to stink. I'll go with that. Yeah, you can root against some teams. How about that? Trimmer, you got to love voice texting. Yes, it gets me all the time, man. DM5, Wishborn would switch it up more between Saints and JMO's routes. Could be. Day, what do you got? I predict JMO will have a couple of monster games later in the season. He's too good to not have at least a couple of great games. Correct with that. JK, JMO will be a weapon become playoff time. Might be. Steven, our offensive line has been very leaky this season. Jared Goff has been taking really big hits. He has indeed. Shaft, JMO is a weapon at all times. All right. John, best team I've seen in a lifelong Lions fan. Lionel, we might be able to see Stephanie on Rogue Verg. I don't know. So they say 100% live events of this year. I know her fights are broadcasted. I don't know enough about it. You'd have to ask her. Keto, shouldn't have drafted Rakestraw? Maybe. Dr. Detroit, I like what is smoking. All right, Lionel, who or is it Serge? One of them. No, just some friends in Detroit media. Mary, Lions Talk Live, have a wonderful and blessed day. See you on the morning. We'll see you then. Dennis, good morning, crew. Back at you. Byron, what do you got? Missed out. Who are they trying to trade for? I don't have that information. I just have been told that the Lions are trying to acquire basically a left tackle. They just summarize with that. They have some concerns about Deckers losing power, strength in that surgically repaired shoulder. Dolo, JC Latham and Peter Schroller are Tennessee tackles. We'll go after them. Rilla, is Delvin Cochran still with the team? No, I don't think so. Premier, feed the rush! Exclamation point. JK, JMO was a blocking shield weapon. I would agree. Dr. Drake, clickbait is almost necessary with all the Lions contents being produced now. It's just a matter of fact. Like why the news leads with blood and violence. Yeah, you'd probably say that. You will want to watch Dan is experience. Thanks for that, broadcaster. Thank you for that. Thank you. What can do? Happy Trails do crew, one pride worldwide. I'll take that. Dr. Troy, he doesn't clickbait like others either, just a lead headline. Yeah, I do what I can to tell you what the story is going to be about. Yes, I mean, that's the best I can do. Gary, happy trails, coach, and do crew. Stay safe. Go Lions. Woo! I'll take that. Bo, happy trails, do crew. All done and dusted for another day. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Dr. Troy, great week off for us. Yes, it should be. Trim Reaver, inconceivable with an exclamation point. Trim Reaver, have a great day, coach, and do crew. Woo! Same to you. Moonscar, what I saw in Rags was probably just clickbait. He saw the Philly defensive attack coming back and was giving him second thoughts. Most likely he never said a thing himself. Okay. Lauren, that song I texted you yesterday, Coach, First and Geesh. All right. Coach Shiny Kate, I don't think, but it may be. I haven't played with it to see like them laughing out loud and using them often. They're designed to give you encourage and context given. All right. Byron, so they're looking to another edge too? That I don't know. I know about the offensive line. We'll find out about the rest. Len T, JMO is doing a lot more than eyes can see. He's getting doubled and sometimes tripled, which is opening everything underneath. Correct with that fully. That one is the reasons for a lot of the explosive plays. Dolo Dynamite, we definitely need edge. We won't win the championship. Fair enough. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. See you guys on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.
Excuse me, sir. Would you... Donations to Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?